Hi, Colin Gwynn here with DJI. In this video, we're going to take a look at a couple of things you need to do and know before your first flight. First, calibrating your compass, and second, understanding some of the common things that are being communicated through the LED status indicator. So let's start with calibrating your compass. This is something that you'll need to do after you first build your Phantom, and then anytime you travel a long distance, like say from one time zone to another. Additionally, if you ever power on your Phantom and you see a series of yellow, red, yellow, red, yellow, red flashes, that's the Phantom telling you that something's going on with the compass and you need to recalibrate. So to do the calibration process, you'll want to come into an open area, free from magnetic or electronic interference, and then we're going to start the process. So we'll set it down. Now, anytime you fly your Phantom, you always want to turn on your transmitter first and then power on the Phantom, then turn off the Phantom by unplugging the battery, and then power down the transmitter. The reason for this is that for any time you turn off your transmitter while the Phantom's flying, or say just landing, then it will actually go to 60 feet, return home, and land itself. So the reason I warn you of this is that as you're landing, if you turn off the transmitter before the motors have shut off, then it will actually take off, go to 60 feet, return to its home position, and land itself. So just make sure that you unplug the Phantom first, then turn off the transmitter. So let's get started. We'll lower our throttle all the way down, turn on our transmitter. Then we're gonna take our battery. Each time you power on your Phantom, you wanna put the battery in with the cables facing out. Then when you plug in the battery, you wanna let the Phantom be pretty level and still for the IMUs to initialize before you move it around. So I'll go ahead and plug in the battery, not touch it while the IMUs initialize. The sound that you heard were the electronic speed controllers indicating that they're on and ready to go. Once my flashing lights have gone through its initialization phase, I know that the IMUs are good, and I'm gonna go ahead and stuff in my wires here. And then close the door to the battery. So to start the calibration process of the compass, all we're gonna do is simply switch from GPS mode to attitude mode and back to GPS mode 10 times quickly. Once I do that, I'll see that the LED status indicator goes to a solid yellow light. That tells me that we've started the calibration process. I'm gonna pick up the Phantom, hold it horizontal and level, and rotate it 360 degrees. At which point, I'll see the light turns to green. Then I'm gonna go nose down in a vertical orientation and do the same thing, rotate 360 degrees. At that point, the light turns off. I know that I've successfully calibrated the compass. So that's compass calibration. Now let's talk about some of the common things that the LED tells you when you're using your Phantom. 1, the flight mode you're in. 2, how many satellites you have. And 3, whether or not your IMU is cold and needs to warm up. So first, you'll see a green flashing light if you're in GPS mode, and a yellow flashing light if you're in attitude mode. So that's your flight mode light indicator. The next thing is you'll see either 0, 1, 2, or 3 red flashes. That's telling you how many satellites in space the Phantom is seeing and knows their position. So if you see 3 flashes, that means it can see less than 5 satellites. 2 flashes for 5 satellites, 1 flash for 6 satellites, and 0 flashes for 7 or more satellites. Often the Phantom can see 10, 12 or more satellites. The only reason it's important to know that is that if you want to fly in GPS mode with accuracy, you want to make sure that you have enough satellites, which is 6 or more, for it to accurately know its position in space. Secondly, in order for the return home and land feature to work properly, you have to initialize a home location. Now that's done by having 6 or more satellites for at least 8 seconds before you take off. So as long as you have 6 or more satellites and you wait at least 8 seconds, when you take off, the Phantom will mark that position as the home position. What that means is that when I'm out flying around, if for any reason my transmitter loses reception or communication with the Phantom, it's actually gonna fly home, find its home position, and then land itself, which is pretty neat. So if you turn off your transmitter, or if a giant wrestler comes and slaps the transmitter out of your hand and crushes it with a big boulder, you'll be okay. The Phantom's just gonna come home and land itself. So that's our red flashing lights for GPS. The last thing that you'll commonly see, especially when it's cold out, is a series of 6 fast flashing yellow lights. That's telling you that the IMU is cold and simply needs to warm up a little bit. You can give it a couple of minutes, those 6 fast flashing yellow lights will go away, and that means that your flight performance will be much better once your IMU is warmed up. So those are all the flashing lights and the common ones that you'll see and what they mean. Now, we try to make the Phantom as simple as possible, but remember that it actually has a very complex GPS satellite-based navigation system comprised of several sensors, such as a GPS antenna, a digital magnetic compass, a barometric altimeter, a 6-axis accelerometer, and a MEMS gyroscope. All these sensors work together to make it very easy to fly the Phantom, while at the same time giving you the ability to have a very agile and fun flying experience. So in conclusion, once all of the blinky flashy lights go away and you're either seeing a single blinking green light or a single blinking yellow light indicating if you're in GPS mode or attitude mode, you'll know that you have great satellite reception, your IMU is warmed up, and you're ready to have a terrific flight. We're gonna do that in the next video. I'll see you there.